Happy Saturday. Hey, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful Saturday. I have had an amazing Saturday. I just wanted to come on tonight because I am so super excited. I am so hyped. I just cannot express to you how actually hyped I am. That's the only word I can think of to explain to you what is happening right now. We are T minus just a little bit more than 7 days. As of tomorrow, it will officially be 7 days until the Time to Rise brunch. I want to say congratulations to each and every one of you who've already gotten your ticket, who are already in the place to be. We are well on our way of selling out. So if you haven't gotten your ticket, you want to go ahead and get your ticket now at timetorisbrunch.com. That's timetorisbrunch.com. But I want to come on tonight to talk about why the Time to Rise brunch is not your typical business brunch. In fact, it is so much more than your typical business brunch. And I want to break it all down tonight. So if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, make sure you do that. Okay. Go do the darn thing. I've got the URL pin right there for you in Instagram. It's also in my bio. For the rest of you guys, it should be right up above you. It's at timetorisbrunch.com. Now, let me tell you what this is in case you are new and you have no idea what I'm talking about. And I'll tell you exactly what makes it special tonight. Okay, so the Time to Rise brunch is a special business networking slash offer reinvention slash sales recalibration brunch and learning event that I will be having right here in beautiful National Harbor, Maryland, next Sunday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you come as a VIP, the doors open for you at 10 a.m. For general admittance, the doors open for you at 11 a.m. And by the way, let me also drill down in that a little bit more because somebody DM'd me and they were like, well, what's the difference between VIP and coming as a general admittance? And I just want to just lay out some of the extra special goodies that you get as a VIP attendee. The biggest one probably is, listen, how many here have seen any of my images and you're like, oh yeah, those images look cool. You know what makes my images look cool is because I have a cool bomb.com brand photographer. My brand photographer is on point. My makeup artist is on point. My stylist is on point. Okay. I have worked with each and every one. This is my glam squad that I have literally worked with for years. Okay. Years. I believe when you find folks that do it right, you stick with them. And these sisters have all been amazing, helped me all along the way. We've all grown together. Now, what I will say in the building at the Time to Rise brunch will be my personal brand photographer. And she's not just going to be there just to take pictures of the brunch, okay, experience, which she is. She's going to do that. But in addition to that, each and every one of our VIP attendees will get your own headshot done by my personal brand photographer. And let me tell you, she is amazing. Amazing. So to get that just as part of the experience of the brunch is going to give you the opportunity to have a literal brand asset that you can use in your business over and over and over again for years. Period. Just point blank, period. So congratulations to all of our VIP admittees that have already snagged yours. If you have not gotten your ticket yet, go ahead and get your ticket. And I highly suggest that for that reason alone, you want to come as a VIP. But in addition to that, you're going to get the opportunity to have access to a special VIP networking lunch, like VIP only networking opportunity during that first hour that you're in there from 10 to 11. And then in addition to that, you're going to get preferred seating, obviously, because you'll be the only ones in there. And each and every one of our VIP attendees will receive a one-on-one follow-up session with me after the brunch. Okay, all of that is included in your VIP ticket. You cannot get a better deal than that. Okay, so boom, that's it. But let me just also say why this is different in all seriousness. The name of this particular live here is really to break down for you why A Time to Rise is not your typical business brunch. And it is not your typical business brunch. And I just kind of want to really talk about why that is. It's not your typical business brunch because this is not your typical moment, period. This is not a typical moment. If we were moving along in the normal course of play, like we typically, in the same way that things have been typically in this country. It could be an amazing experience, but at the end of the day, it could be very much a typical experience. But this is not, because we're living in atypical times. We're living in times in which literally, Black businesses are under assault from every direction, it seems. But it seems that obviously it emanates specifically from the White House, which on the very first day of being in office put our economic power in the crosshairs of this administration, tearing down contracts, tearing down DEI programs, and threatening corporations if they didn't do the same, and educational institutions, right? Doing all of that, firing just indiscriminately large swaths of federal workers, which are disproportionately Black people. And there's just really no other way that you can interpret this but than to say that we are under attack economically. And because we're under attack economically, I want you to understand that what we're going to be addressing in the Time to Rise brunch isn't the type of thing that you would do if it was the sort of normal economic disruption. The challenges that we're facing in this economy isn't the same as if this was just a normal bit of inflation, or if this was just a normal bit of stagnation, or if this was just a normal bit of just the economy slowing down. What we have been attacked by has not been an economic cycle. What we've been attacked by has been a man-made disaster, specifically addressing us, attacking us and our businesses. And so we're going to have to think differently about how to address that. And so what we'll be doing at the brunch is allowing you the space to really step back and really reimagine what would work in your business under these current circumstances, which are new, which are different, which are in many ways unprecedented. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why this isn't a typical brunch, because these are not typical times. We are in a defining moment, a unique moment. And so we're going to approach this moment very, very differently, and specifically in terms of the actions that you will take at a Time to Rise. Number two, listen, one of the things that I am doing in preparing for this brunch experience is not just preparing to give you the tools that you need in terms of recalibrating your offer suite, in terms of redefining your sales methodologies, which we will be doing all of that. But we're not stopping there, okay? What I want you to understand is I'm spending a lot of time this weekend, to be perfectly honest with you, doing some reading in a very specific subject area. I'm doing a lot of research and reading this weekend on this issue of Black resistance. Black resistance. I want to fathom or make the argument that now is a moment in which the way forward can best be defined by looking at our past. Ever since we have been here, we have faced specific attacks specifically related to our progress in this country. Whenever there has been Black progress, there has been white backlash, but there has also been resistance. We understand how to resist. We understand how to push back. We understand how to fight back. And so what you will be experiencing at this brunch is not only the understanding and the sort of rethinking about what you're doing in your business now. It's going to be about preparing you for what you need to do in this new season. This is going to be a season of what I would like to term as Black economic resistance. We have to push back. We have to fight back. We have to reimagine how are we going to overcome this oppression and start about the business of doing such. And so we're going to think deeply on that issue, and we're going to work deeply on that issue while we're in that space, because these are not normal times. And so how we overcome these challenges are not merely going to be through normal methodologies. So it's going to be about thinking freely, thinking differently, thinking and tapping into a rebellious spirit around how can we resist what's going on here and build something new and powerful in a new direction. And one of the things that I shared recently, if you've been following me, is when I was looking for just the space to hold this brunch, I knew that it could not be, given the fact that we are in this moment, given the fact that we are facing these challenges, given the fact that what we need to come up with in order to properly combat the challenges that we're facing. It's not just mere business and marketing strategies or marketing and sales strategies. It's also about understanding the power of and tradition of Black resistance in this country, and how can we do it from an economic standpoint, right? So we're doing all of that. But as I was thinking about how do we, like, where do we do this? That to me is important. I'm the type of person where I really I'm an empath, so energies are very important to me. I'm very sensitive to energies, and so I felt like where we held this gathering was important. That it couldn't just be at any place. It couldn't just be anywhere. It had to be someplace special. And so I looked high and low, and then I found it. I found it. Now, I happen to live in National Harbor, Maryland. I absolutely love this space for many reasons. I love it because I almost kind of consider this area here to be a Black Wall Street, a modern day version of Black Wall Street. There is a high concentration of Black businesses right here, a high concentration of Black business owners and very successful people who live in this area. So the energy of this space is powerful, but even more specific than that, I found a specific space one day as I was out doing my morning walk. And I happened to go into a venue that I had never been into before, though I had literally walked by it or driven by it a million times, because it's right here, literally, practically in my own backyard. But this time when I walked in there, I saw something that I had never seen before. I saw an event space named after Harriet Tubman. And I was like, this is the spot. This is where we must gather. And so we're going to, on this special day, be gathering in a room given the honor of being named after the incredible warrior spirit that Harriet Tubman was. And I think that's important because we're going to need to tap into our own inner warriors in this moment. We're going to have to tap into our own rebellious energy in this moment. We're going to have to tap into our own spirit of resistance in this moment in order to fight back appropriately. And so that's why, it's another reason why, I guess reason two why, this is not just your typical business brunch. This is a business brunch that is also about fermenting the seeds of Black economic resistance for such a time as this. You know why? Because it's absolutely needed in such a time as this. All right. I love that. Exactly right, Sean. Sean says the principle of the provision of place. I love it. Absolutely true. All right. Number three, reason number three. This moment demands, requires, necessitates revolutionary shifts in what you are doing, not incremental change. This moment requires revolutionary shifts and not just incremental change. What we need to really understand is that these folks up the street from me in the White House, what they're going for the end game. I want y'all to understand that they have already been successful in tearing back literally decades of progress. But they are not done. So I want you to think about, if you are facing a reality in which decades of progress have literally been ripped away in a blink of an eye, do you really think you can afford to make little minor tweaks to your business in order to adjust for the new environment that we're facing now? You're going to have to do surgery. Some of you will have to do surgery. and do something very radically different in your business than what you've done before in order to get to where you need to go. And so this is why we're going to be tapping into helping you completely reimagine your offer suite for this moment. Because I guarantee you, if you are doing the very same things that you did prior to this in grade, getting into office, you are probably finding it more difficult to get traction now because the whole world has shifted around you. The people around you have different needs, wants, desires. What are they? You need to figure out, how can I recalibrate what I do in a significant way to meet this moment? This is not a tweak time. This is major shifting time. This is major reimagination time. And that's exactly what you will do at the brunch. You will leave there with your fully reimagined offer suite intact, from the rooter to the tutor, with specific offers that are at different price points and specifically developed for this specific time and the challenges that your people are facing in this moment. Okay. Number 4, a reason why this is not a typical business brunch. Okay. It's because this is a moment in which we have to fight back boldly, not just look to survive. So what do I mean by that? I am going to come at you a little counter to where people seem to be going right now. Given all that's happening in this moment, a lot of people are running scared. I'm just going to be honest. A lot of people are running scared and playing the game very conservatively in this moment, which I can understand why. But what I mean by playing the game very conservatively is that the belief is that if I just do everything for a very, very minute price point because people will not be investing a lot right now, then I can at least keep some money coming in. But if your money is coming in like this, okay, how sustainable is that? How is that going to allow you to be able to create the futures that you want to create for your children? How is that going to allow you to be able to have the revenue that you need in order to be able to ultimately take care of the people around you that you love and fulfill your potential and honestly have the impact on the world that you know you have the potential of making? Yes, it's important to have that as one of the areas in your offer suite, but guess what? We're going to spend a lot of time talking about, how about the other end? I want you all to understand that you can still sell at very high levels in today's market. You can still sell high ticket and ultra high ticket in today's market. But how you make those sales has changed. You're going to have to approach it differently in this moment. And we're going to be breaking all of that down, like what has changed in the sales space and how can you sell high ticket now. Listen, for that alone, you need to be in the room, because this is not about survival. This brunch is not about teaching you how can you survive this moment. Nuh-uh. This moment is about how can you rise in this moment. And I want you to know those are two very different concepts. Surviving and rising are two completely different things. I'm talking about elevation. I'm talking about growth. I'm talking about ascension. I'm not just merely talking about surviving. And so if you want to understand how to take your business from here to here, you need to be at the Time to Rise brunch. We're going to be breaking that down. Sales has changed. Let's talk about how do you get there. And we're talking about perspectives on that, not only for those of you who are coaches, but also for those of you who are consultants and very high level consultants. I'm going to have a very special guest speaker there who is going to specifically speak to high level consulting sales at the very highest levels as a profession, as in the corporate space specifically for consultants. So if that is you, you need to be at the Time to Rise brunch. Okay. Very, very special surprise guest, I will say. Okay. As it comes to that, but someone who knows their ish. I guarantee you. Okay. And number 5, I think that was 4. Yep. Number 5, fifth reason why, listen, disruption requires. resistance requires, okay? It requires collective strategy, not individual hustle. You like surprises? Wonderful. Okay. It requires collective strategy and collective action is a better way to think of it. It requires collective action, not just individual hustle. Here is the pièce de résistance. Okay. Yeah, I did take a little bit of French. That sounded good, right? Here's what I want you to understand. Part of what we're doing there will definitely be what I'm calling power networking. And it's not just a mere exchange of business cards or following each other on LinkedIn from sharing, the codes in person. It's not that. You can do that, but it's not merely that. Here's what I want you to know. In a time like what we're facing right now, we need to lean into the concepts of collective economics in every way, shape, and form. We need to see, are there alliances that can be built in that room? Are there partnerships that can be brokered in that room? Is there some level of collaboration that can be found in that room? Are there clients that can be found in that room? How can we be strategic about rising together at this moment and not merely falling apart? What will get us out of this mess is if we come together. That is absolutely essential. Absolutely essential. When I think about all the things that have happened in our past that have traumatized us, honestly, as African Americans, with regards to the brutality and the terrorism that we've been exposed to in this country for centuries, I believe, unfortunately, one of the after effects of that is that it has cultivated a reality in our culture that is much more combative instead of collaborative. We feel like we have to compete with each other all the time. We have to compete. How about if we become serious about utilizing each other's talents and abilities to help each other rise together? How if we start to get serious about what that looks like? What if we start to get strategic about, hey, there are opportunities here, and I have these skills, you have those skills. When we put it together, we're much better positioned to actually take advantage of those opportunities. That doesn't happen if we each continuously and only survive in our own individual silos. We have to figure out, how can we connect with others who complement what we do so that together we can go for bigger slices of the pie. Does this make sense to anybody? Does this make sense? And so we're going to be very intentional there about fermenting a sense of and specific ways in which we can strategize around how we can form bonds literally in that room that can lead to money for those of you in that room. This is not an intellectual exercise. This is about you understanding who else here would be perfect for me to connect with in order for both of us to be better equipped to get that next high level opportunity. Hey there, who's saying hi to me? Hey there, Yvette. How you doing? So listen, you have to, hey there, Amir. Hey. Listen, and Sean, great to see y'all. So let me just say, have to be there for that. Absolutely essential. We have to get to a place where we begin to understand the power of collaboration over competition, where we begin to build our own economic ecosystems. And as far as I can tell you tonight, as strongly as I can share with you tonight, that is one of the core things that we are going to focus on, or at least create a space for, and highly encourage and felicitate, okay, as part of the A Time to Rise brunch. I say all of this to say, when tomorrow gets here, Sunday, okay, we will officially be just 1 week away from the Time to Rise brunch. And the way tickets are selling right now, we will be sold out before, you know, well before then. Okay. Um, well before then. So if you know you need to be there, if you know you need to get into that room, if you know you want to come as a VIP so you can get your own professional headshot from my own personal bomb.com brand photographer, if you know you need to be in that room because you know you need to think broadly and in a much more aggressive way about how you can recalibrate your offer suite to meet this moment, then you need to go ahead and get your space at the Time to Rise brunch. If you know you need to be there because you need to understand what shifts you need to change, what shifts do you need to make in terms of how you sell right now, such that you can not only sell more effectively at every level, but specifically such that you can start to sell again at the high ticket level, then you need to be at the Time to Rise brunch. And if you know that you want to be a part, honestly, of the revolution, you want to be a part of the resistance against what's happening now by understanding how we as a community can finally come together in a powerful and strategic way so that each and every one of us can be better positioned to economically rise in this moment. If that sounds like something that you want to do, then I want to take this opportunity to invite you to the Time to Rise brunch. All right. All you have to do is go right and get your tickets right now at timetorisbrunch.com. That's timetorisbrunch.com. Get your seats. I will see you next week in beautiful National Harbor, Maryland, in the Harriet Room. No, I misspoke. At the Harriet Tubman Room at Hyatt Place, right there on the, overlooking the Potomac River. It's just a beautiful location, beautiful brunch I have planned for you. But most importantly, beautiful content that's meant to help to make a difference in your business, and also the space for you to be able to connect and maybe find your next partner, your next collaborative relationship, your next client right there in the room. All right. So with that said, what is that? Getting my late night workout in. Okay, I hear you, girl. You good one. Because I'm just, man, if I don't get my workout in the morning, it's a wrap. Okay, I'm so bad about doing them at night, but you a good one. Okay. With that said, you guys, so good to jump on here this evening. So good to see you. You okay? Hey there, Breezy. I'm hoping that I will see each and every one of you at the Time to Rise brunch. You still have time to grab your tickets. Just go to timetorisbrunch.com. With that said, hope you have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all later. Okay, everybody. Bye. Take care, everybody. Bye.